going to do it with it? They won't hear us. You mind
Just
waiting, or should we
just do it first thing in the morning. I don't mind. Do it now. Oh, you mean waiting?
We've got to wait for the 4-lap race now.
Yeah, we'll just wait.
Should we wait?
Yeah, that's just like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
6.
Right. Stand down then, mate. Well done. Right, we're deep into the 2021 season, and I think it's about time that we tell you the 10 best things we've learned about the S1000RR this year. But before we do that, we've got to celebrate the fact that Fabrice is back. Where have you been all summer?
Well, I've been to work. And,
What?
Professor.
Professor.
Professor, yeah.
You've been gallivanting with other people.
Yeah, exactly. I've been playing with the British endurance racing team, and they're doing the World Endurance Championship. So we're back in the Boulder in a couple of weeks' time, south of France.
Yeah.
So yeah, follow us on Eurosport.
Hey, come on, you can't plug other people on this.
Hey, why not?
Oh, right.
I'm working hard for it, so yeah.
So number 1, it's not as fast as our old Gen 3 yet, but we're getting closer and closer and closer and closer. We're within a second now, which is really, really good. And it's been a tricky journey, really, just understanding the chassis and the electronics. But we're nearly there. You need a lot of specialist information to know how to set this thing up. Number 2, split throttle bodies. That's where this bike will always run on 2 cylinders unless you're flat out. So the idea behind that, it reduces power, you don't need traction control. It's supposed to be really, really good, but for club racers, it's not the way forward. Makes the bike vibrate. It's hard to really manage when you're on the bike. It's not as good as just having 4 together. So that's what we reverted to.
You've got to be prepared, haven't you? Like at the apex of a corner, regardless of what you're doing, to actually
just go
100%
flat out. Yeah.
Otherwise, it won't work for you, will it?
No, I can't do that. Number 3, setup wise, the bike likes to be nice and long, so we've achieved that with gearing and a long wheelbase, long chain. Also likes to be quite pliable, quite soft as well. We've actually got a 50 spring in the rear. The front springs are more or less normal, as you'd expect from a race bike, but yeah, it's got a strange back end, so we're getting our heads around that. Look at that.
Extreme.
Hey.
Just do a like muscle man pose.
Number 5, the latest generation Pirellis are amazing, much better than most club racers. They're proper World Superbike BSB tyres, so they're amazing. But interesting to note, they're taller this year. It's a 265 rear, 125 70 front, so the whole bike is raised with the new tyres. So we've got to bring the ride heights back down, and that's something we've been working towards. We've actually realised we were running a too long a shock for most of the year, so the bike's been sitting too high, and now it's back down low again. You can corner fast, it will change direction easier, it's just better all round. Brakes, we've got standard brakes, but we run SBS dual sinter pads, and they're incredible. They last for ages as well, 3 or 4 meetings. And number 7, it doesn't need any more power. It's phenomenally quick as it is, with the Kropovich pipe on it, which sounds fantastic from performance parts. Probably makes about 220 bhp, which is more than enough for mere mortals like us. And the engine just pings through the gears thanks to its lovely HM quick shifter, which is highly recommended. The data logger, this is number 8 by the way. A data logger is like a professional 2D system, which is off the back of the Alpha electronics that we've got, and it's quite hard to understand. So the irony is, even though it's better, I'm not using it half as much as the old Gen 3 electronics, just because I don't understand them, which is a bit of a shame. And that setup I was talking about isn't obvious. It's nothing we would have got towards ourselves, so you really need the help of people that know what they're doing, and Adam and Dave from Fortis Racing have been really helpful to us, as they would do with any BMW racer. And number 10, there's nothing quite like riding your heart out on a big powerful superbike like this. You know, regardless of your lap times, regarding how well or not we're doing, we're scraping into the top 10 now, so that's good. We're here at Donington this weekend, actually, at MRO Powerbikes. Last time we were here, we got a pole and a win and some podiums, and now we're sort of battling for the top end of top 10. So not quite where we want to be.
But we're not going any slower.
No. exactly.
These little buggers, these little whippersnappers are just going faster.
Exactly, and you can't take anything away from all the people up the front. They're fantastic riders. But yeah, it's just a really enjoyable bike to ride, and around here it's amazing. It's just a shame that enjoyment's tainted a little bit by your results and all the rest of it, but you know, none of us are going to be the next Marquez if you're in a club race paddock when you're 52, 51, so we're just here to have fun. What have you learnt about our bike this year, Bob? The long-suffering Bob.
Well, obviously, you start, don't you? You start off, we've got this beautiful new machine. Our last bike was an amazing thing, and we really knew our way around the previous generations of BMWs because we were lucky enough to have, what, 4 or 5 bikes, and we got the hang of them. This bike is completely different. The suspension linkages, the way the engine works, it's just a different thing. And we built the bike, and the bike's beautiful, and you just expect the first time you turn up that it's going to be where you left off, but unfortunately it hasn't been like that, has it? So I couldn't tell you what I've learned. I've learned so much, and I've learned with the help of people like Dave Carnell and Phil Crow and people like that. I've learned an awful lot. We've worked our way through these several race meetings to a point now where we've really got a good base setting, and we're doing the kind of times that we expect to be doing. I think a lot of that's down to the fact that we didn't go testing initially. We normally go testing in Spain for a couple of days. You learn so much there because you get so much track time. That's like doing 4 or 5 race meetings. So I couldn't put my finger on one thing, but it's been an immense learning curve, and I'm convinced that it's not over yet.
No. Well, we've decided we're going to do one more round this year, Brands MRO, beginning of October. And we're so close now, hopefully we can put all that knowledge together and knock out a good result, hopefully.
The thing is, like, we worry about motorcycle mechanics, but this is where it's fucking at, isn't it? This is like generator maintenance. Without a generator, you're nothing, are you? Got no tyre walls, no coffee machine, got no radio, no iPod, no fucking charger.
No light at all.
No light. So without this, this is where it's at, really.
It's the beginning of everything. Because power is everything.
Yeah. What you can do with that oil? Can I put that in the bike?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, but it's not gonna make it go quicker.